Hi, I'm Neil Wood. Welcome to Optimist Island. Think about this. How often do you drink water every single day, right? For us, it's very easy. We just turn on the tap, or open a bottle of water, whatever. It is not the same case in many developing countries. So today's guests, Megan Hayes and Kimberly Reilly, are talking about what they are doing to impact the infrastructure for many of these developing countries. Many of these children have to walk miles and miles to get water. That's all changing, thanks to our two guests today. Thanks for joining us. We are here with Megan Hayes and Kimberly Reilly, and we're talking about something so many people take for granted, water. Now this morning after my workout, I took a nice big sip of water, and I thought, God, how lucky are we? You know, as an athlete, I drank close to a gallon of water every day because we have it, it's so plentiful. But that's not the case everywhere in the world, is it?
No, I mean, and that's one of the things that so many people have no idea, that 1 in 5 people don't have access to clean water. So something we don't think about is something they think about all the time, every day, is getting water. And it takes away from girls going to school, it takes away from women working. People get sick from it, and here we don't give it a thought. So we wanted to change that.
Yeah, there's a real gender divide in the world where women and young girls are responsible for collecting and carrying water. So generally speaking, in developing countries, girls will, at the young age of 6 years old, will be responsible for walking, carrying, collecting water all day instead of going to school.
Wow.
So it's actually one of the leading causes for gender inequality in general, but more, specifically girls' illiteracy in the world. They never learn how to do basic math or learn to read. So their opportunities are limited, in addition to the reality of the unhealthy water that makes people sick.
Well, I watched your video, which is really fascinating to me, and I watched the young lady, a young girl, dipping the pitcher into the water. That water was filthy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's all they have.
That is.
That's
And
all they have.
That's the other thing, is it's not as though they're walking for clean water. They're walking for whatever source is available.
Yeah.
We're
So-
talking 5-7 hours a day, and this is a fifth of the world's population that has these. And these are places where there is water. These aren't necessarily drought conditions, but there is no infrastructure. So there's just not any access to the water, and so really, when you can fix that in communities, when you can provide accessible and convenient water too, not just a pump in a village, but bringing water into people's homes and also toilets and sanitation, then you can make an enormous impact on that community.
Yes. Where have you been focused? Which countries, for example?
Well, we have traveled with Water First International to Honduras and to Bangladesh. We funded our first project in Honduras, and that is bringing 350 people running water, showers, and toilets in their homes for the first time in their lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine the smiles on their face.
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, to be a part of it and see the joy all for water is humbling and overwhelming, and here this is the biggest thing that's happened to them, and that we can do this through our company, Everybody Water, and provide something that is so basic to us and to them and changes their lives forever.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
incredibly motivating to see it firsthand,
Yeah.
because there are solutions and they just need to be funded. So, and to see the impact, to see, like Megan said, the smiles, to see girls go from this miserable life of carrying water to being able to go to school and be happy and have dreams.
Wow, for the first time in their life, in many cases.
Yeah.
And we were also fortunate enough to meet girls who had initially not had water in their community and now are actually working for the organization on the ground in Honduras, helping communities get clean water. So we're seeing the cycle,
Yes.
which was so important.
Yeah, and then the communities are thriving too. They have schools. Then the next step is businesses,
Yes.
and it's the water is the first step to any to communities thriving, people thriving, businesses thriving. So
Right.
it's the very first thing.
And you not only provide cartons of water, you are also helping with some irrigation.
Well, we sell our water here.
Yes.
And we take portions of the sales and then fund infrastructure projects
Wonderful.
abroad. So those are permanent solutions. So,
Yes.
so here we felt that one of the biggest problems is just awareness, that people are not aware of how severe the problems are and that they can be fixed. So we felt that if we use water as a vehicle to engage and to raise awareness and get people excited about solving one of the world's biggest problems, then we could use that money to fund some of those solutions.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There's really quite a buzz that you created. I hear so many people talking about this, and I see so many people drinking everybody water. You know, they get the carton up after they go to bar or yoga or whatever it is, and you've really created quite a buzz because you're doing something that impacts so many lives. What you're doing overseas with Honduras and some of the other countries you visited is going to impact generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of the buzzes come from the excitement that other people have that they can be part of this and be
Yes.
part of it in an easy way, in something that they do every day. And of course, we hope you have your water bottle, but when you don't, that you're reaching for a carton like Everybody Water that gives back.
Yes.
And people want to do good, but there's only so many hours in the day, and here's something that they can reach to. And in that moment when they're drinking, they're impacting someone else's lives. And especially when they hear about the effect on women and girls,
Yes.
and that's where most of the burden falls. Boys can go to school, men can work, but women's lives are forever tied to water because that's all they do. And when they realize that this is a step to break it, and they have the power to make amazing change happen, that's inspiring to them.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think also people are ready for companies to make an impact. I think it's a wonderful model, something we can all do every day, and it's consumer driven versus governments or anything, and that excites people. They'd rather buy something that makes a difference versus something that doesn't. So we've definitely feeling the excitement from other people, and there's been a huge ripple effect also.
Yes. Good.
That was something we had also hoped for in raising awareness, not only being able to fund these projects, but to inspire other people to get involved in their own way. So just in Hingham alone, for example, the local J. Crew had our water one day, and they donated 10% of their sales that day to the organization we support.
Awesome.
And there have been a lot of other examples like that.
Yeah, like Madewell did that, Eileen Fisher, Aviva. So, people want to get behind this, and
Good.
businesses want to get behind this, not just individuals.
Good.
And also businesses realizing that some of the things they do have an impact on water.
Yes.
So how can they give back?
Good. What inspired you to? I don't even, we've never met until this morning, right? We had some emails back and forth, but I find your story fascinating. And so many times on this show, we talk to people who are making a difference in the world or in the community. You're impacting both. But how did you get started?
Well, first of all, we live next door to each other.
Oh,
So
that always helps. That's convenient.
yeah, that helps.
A good neighbor.
Yeah, and our kids are the same age, so that helps. And we have girls. So,
Yes.
but a lot of the inspiration started from, what is the one thing that holds back women and girls? And for me, I grew up overseas in Thailand and Egypt, and, I saw the effects of water, but I had no idea the impact that it had on women and girls specifically. Yeah. And when we learned about that and learned that water was the one thing holding them back, then it was, how do we change that? And how do we change that with something that you do every day? And we didn't come from the beverage industry. We didn't come from, consumer packaged goods. But we were determined to make a change. So it took a while. We've been at this for 2.5 years. We just launched in January.
Okay.
It's a ton of research, from the right packaging to finding the right nonprofit. As Kim mentioned, not all nonprofits are doing the same level of work. And so we talked to numerous ones, and Water First was really the gold standard in how they were doing it. and bringing clean water into people's homes, so women weren't having to go to a pump and still stand and not go
Yes.
to school.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's been an incredible journey for both of us, but all, I think, really inspired by what is the one thing holding back women and girls, and it's water, which is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for me, this has been a huge improvement in my own life, just focusing on something so positive. It started several years ago. We were just brainstorming, and I am an entrepreneur, and I've had a couple different businesses, totally unrelated, and was looking for more meaning and purpose in what I was doing. And I thought, as my daughters are getting older, I wanted to set a better example that I could do something. I could use all of that creative energy into making a difference and improving other people's lives instead of anything else, really. And I could still I could still have fun with the marketing and the business part of it and all of that, but why not make it something very positive?
Yes.
So, so it was a journey deciding on how to do it. But meanwhile, it's been incredible for us. I mean, sure, like this is helping other people, but at the end of the day, this has been.
They feed us.
Yeah,
too.
this
and being able to
been-
travel and see the projects and meet the people and see
Yes.
the lives that are changed. We've been to Honduras, and we were most recently in Bangladesh, and projects there are very different in each location. And being able to see not only meet the people, but how the projects are done and the level of quality. And then we can come back and share the stories. You saw our video.
Yes.
With people, so they understand the impact and that it is real in a way that's told in a beautiful way. Because bringing clean water and seeing the smiles and the joy and how it uplifts people is truly incredible.
Yes.
I mean, from the conception, I think we knew that there was no way that everybody wouldn't want to get behind something so simple and so important. That was, part of the name too. Everybody, will believe in this, and everybody should have clean water. So, yeah, to see it in person, we realized we have to capture it on film too.
Yes.
And so we brought filmmakers with us on these trips, and that has been, the storytelling has been something that's brought it to life for people. So they can identify with actual kids, human beings that are just like ours, that make it very real, the impact.
And when you arrived, the celebration's quite exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's emotional. I mean, so one of the ones I think you saw, so we were walking into one of the communities who had just gotten clean water.
Yes.
And, we're walking in, and the road is lined with kids, just clapping and cheering for water.
Wow.
And you're just trying to hold it together because you're realizing, wow, this is all for water. This celebration, this joy. Then they had, people did skits and poetry and songs, all tied into water. And you sit there and listen, and here we go home and we just turn on our tap.
Right.
But it's not wanting to feel the guilt. It's having those moments and realizing that this is solvable, and realizing that when people like you and our community know about this and know that it is solvable and that they can make a difference every day by just doing something simple as buying everybody water, they get behind it.
Yes, absolutely. We've talked about quotes before, and I know this is a little philosophical, but I don't know of anybody who has been on their deathbed who said, I wish I worked more. I know many people who are at the end of their life saying, I wished I had made a difference. I wished I had touched more lives and wasn't so focused on me, but looked out at the world to say, what difference can I make? As slight as buying a bottle of everybody water, right? As slight as that.
Yeah.
To us, it could be done so easily, but what an impact it makes on other lives.
Yeah.
So, and the buzz that you've created now you're also going to be featured at some big events coming up.
Yeah, really exciting. We're going to be the exclusive water at the Levitate Music Festival, all the vendors and all that. We're also sponsoring the refillable water stations, and the Harpoon Fest coming up.
Yeah.
5 miler.
We're also doing triathlon. So triathlon in Cohasset,
Oh, boy.
Nantucket,
Yeah.
Duxbury. So we've got a number of things in the works. And again, these organizations have come to us, which is just amazing. I mean, and when they hear what's going on, they just want to get involved and
Good.
get behind this. And that's also been so wonderful to see companies wanting to elevate themselves and what they're doing. And with Everybody Water, they can do that. It's a great partnership.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's such a contribution. I
Yes.
mean, on all of their parts, any business, any person, everything that anybody's done to help us advance this is such a contribution. The exposure, what we can do with it is so much more thanks to everyone who's done anything.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Big picture, where do you see this going over the next 5 years? Ideally, what would you like to see happen?
I think most of all is to really see communities transformed and more communities.
Yes.
So with our nonprofit, like in Honduras, they'll work in a region, and right now they've been working in Lempira region, and they've really brought clean water to almost that entire region. So to see that happen in numerous countries where you see the impact, and then you see people able to go to school, children then able to work as they grow up, that impact.
Yes.
We want to have this be national. Right now we're in New England, and you can also buy our cases online by the individual case or subscription. So going on a national level, absolutely. But I think what really drives us is the amount of lives that we can change.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
to see a difference for women and girls, and watch our girls see that Everybody Water is making a difference in the lives of girls just like them.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
are just in a different circumstance.
And I think one important point to make too is that with all of these projects, this is not just a charity going in and providing something as a gift. The local people themselves are integral to these projects. They form committees. They work with their local engineers, local mayors, and every single person in the community contributes to the building out of these projects and the education as to how to maintain them, hygiene education in the community for everything from school children to vendors to really be successful and to be able to sustain these for future generations. So I think that's important because in addition to giving people their most basic need, we're helping them build a very strong community that can
Yes.
tackle other problems on their own.
And they see those wins, that they're able to do that. And they're also providing like a small fee each month to pay a water bill.
Yeah.
That way they're sustainable projects. So if something goes wrong, something can be fixed.
Yes.
It's not as though they're being left and they've built it.
Yeah.
They look around, and it's because of them that their community has water, and they all have been a part of it.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
The more I read and the more I watched on the videos and things like that, what I see is not a lot of people in these countries with their hand out, but they're saying, teach us. We want to
Oh.
make things better.
yeah.
How do we do it? And you've got us on board. What do we do?
yeah.
And that's what you're just talking about.
Yeah, they're
Right?
so smart. I mean, in Bangladesh, the way it works there is through a micro loan program with a 97% payback rate. These are the world's poorest people, and yet they're perfectly capable of paying back loans. They know exactly how important this is in their lives and what they can do after they have convenient water in their home.
It's got to be a real aha moment to be there. I would probably have tears in my
yeah.
eyes to see all these kids lined up on the street.
It is.
Welcoming you.
It's heavily, it's very emotional,
Yes.
but it's also when you see that there is hope, and you can see it has changed, and you see all the progress that's made. You don't feel like you're walking in like, oh my gosh, we don't have a shot here.
Right.
This is something that can change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully, everybody will get behind getting everybody's most basic need met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many other countries would you like to visit? And
Well, our nonprofit works with Honduras, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, and Mozambique. And they chose those countries not only based on the need, but also the organizations on the ground that they partner with
Good.
do it extremely well, and they've worked with them for some time, and that's super important. It's that relationship that makes it so these projects are sustainable.
Yes.
It's not as though they go in and they go out. Water First goes in. They have a strong relationship with Costa in Honduras, with DSK in Bangladesh, and work closely with them. And that is a lot of the reason for the level of success. And not one project has failed.
Yeah.
And in the water space, it's 35 to 50% of projects fail.
It's that high.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking because you bring people water and then, the pipe breaks and they have nothing. And so
Right.
the way they do, that's why we chose Water First.
Yeah.
What was because of that. And we also chose them because of the youth component.
Yeah.
So in America, they have students in middle school and high school who are learning about the crisis, learning about the cycle, and then it culminates in fundraising. So we're actually sponsoring a Carry 5 walk in Cohasset on June 9th
Good.
at 1 p.m. and you walk for water. And the tagline is, "We walk so they don't have to." And so kids will be carrying water to
Yeah.
experience what it's like.
Oh, boy.
We'd love to
Just
have
how
there.
heavy it is, 5K.
5K?
Yes, and we're going to have entertainment by 92.5 The River.
That's great.
Gotta have music.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so it should be fun. There'll be activity tents, and it will be a great family event. Or high school students, or anybody that wants to do it on their own or as a team. We've had Water First in the area come and do global water education at about 15 schools in the Boston area, several in Hingham, the Hingham Public Schools, and Derby
Yes.
Academy, and Suescuela, and the OCMS. So there are, and other towns too. But hopefully a lot of motivated students who want to take part and feel like they can make a big difference.
Good. And you've had a lot of support from Hingham and the Hingham schools, haven't
Oh
you?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Well, we started out with a small group of students in the fall, brought Water First from Seattle to come and talk about the work they do, also just about the reality of the global water crisis. And then they were very interested in us coming back again with them to a larger audience, more schools, and it's a great opportunity for kids to learn, open their eyes, and feel or discover ways that they can actually be part of a solution, not just understand the problem.
Yes.
And it's a solution that's helping kids as well.
Right.
So it's, kids helping kids.
They can
Yes.
identify when they see pictures of kids their own age, and when they lift that water and see how heavy it is,
Right.
it's kind of mind-boggling.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's this aha moment that goes, something goes off and they
Yeah.
realize,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that 6-year-old that I saw in that film they just showed was carrying water.
Right.
And here I am 16 and I barely made it up the auditorium and back.
Right. And the kids that locally are going to be carrying cartons of water. We're overseas. What are those urns made from? Is it?
Well, they're different jerry cans in some places, but then there's different places have like pottery.
It's heavy.
Or they're, it's
Yeah.
very heavy.
Yeah.
It's 40 pounds that you're carrying.
Yeah.
For the most
It's
part.
very hard.
And a lot of times women are carrying that on their head and they're also carrying a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it's, on their, what it does to their bodies is pretty
Yeah.
intense too. But I think it's nice to see the youth excited about this because they're really our future. I mean, they can take this to a whole different level
Yes.
and see change happen in their generation
Yes.
Yeah.
because of their efforts and because of their voice
Yes.
and because of their involvement.
My children graduated Hingham High, and my favorite daughter, I only have one. My favorite daughter heard about everybody
risky.
water. Yeah. She heard about everybody water and said, Dad, we have grown up in a bubble in Hingham. And I love Hingham. It's a wonderful town,
Yeah.
South Shore. And she said, but when I learned about this and I watched the video, she said, I had tears in my eyes. We have it so good here.
Yeah.
And to see people making
so
a difference.
lucky.
We're so lucky.
We're so lucky.
In our own little bubble.
Yeah.
And she said to see people making a difference overseas and to see these children now being able to go to school, she said, it's just beautiful. It really inspired her.
I think it's starting to change just overall.
Yes.
There's so many companies that are really rethinking things and people who are going to market with new businesses. And also youth questioning businesses and what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Right.
So, I mean, I think there's so much positive things and focusing in on, we can't control what's happening in a lot of situations, but we can control our actions.
Absolutely.
And focusing in on the action that we can take to make a difference every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And youth are inspiring. Older people tend to look at the negative
Right.
changes with the younger generations, but I've really been impressed in all of the market research that we've done and interacting with younger people at how much they want to shift the marketplace to have more meaning and demand more of companies. I think it's a wonderfully positive change.
Yes. I think a lot of the older generations, and I'm part of one of those, see the newer generations coming up saying, and they're getting a bad rap about, oh, that's the me generation. I don't find that at all.
Yeah.
I find they're very generous. They want to be involved in the
Yeah.
community. They want to be involved in the world, and they want to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, and I've spoken to a lot of the young folks because of my own children, and they will even say, Dad, we can't control the weather or the politics or what's happening worldwide, but we can make a difference, even in our community, that touches lives.
Yeah.
Because we do control what we do every day and what we think.
They're very thoughtful. They ask
Yes.
a lot of questions and they want to know a lot of detail.
Yes.
And that's important.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so before we go,
Yeah.
what impact do you want to have on the world? Big picture, I think I know the answer, but I want to assume. What do you want to be known for as the years go by and people look back and go, wow.
I think we want to be known as the company that really changed the way we think about water and the impact water has, and that we've brought water to a lot of communities. And I say we collectively, that the community that Everybody Water has built has really made a dent and changed that on a global scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We want to excite a community of people and businesses to get behind something really, really important and make a huge difference.
Good.
And it begins with everybody. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I like the name of it,
Yeah.
right? And that's the reason for it, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Right? Get everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yep, everybody in your body, because water's good for you.
Yes.
Everybody should have water.
Yes. I think a lot of people overlook that. It's something so simple. And like I said in the beginning of the show, I drink close to a gallon a day.
Yeah.
As an athlete, I want to make sure I'm hydrated. I
Yeah.
learned that many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And to see the impact you're having on other people's lives, not only locally, but in other countries, I give you a high five. You're making a difference.
Well, thanks for helping us share what we're doing and hopefully
Helping
inspire
us
other
tell
people.
our story
Well,
and
thank you.
reaching out to us,
Thank
because
you.
it's so important that the story gets told,
Yes.
and then more people know about it and can get involved and get behind it.
Yes.
And that's what will make the change. That'll be how we reach our goal and
Yes.
make this
Yeah.
dream happen, is by building this community and with people
Yes.
like you believing in us and wanting to get the word out. So thank you.
My pleasure.
We're grateful.
Now, for all of our Hingham friends watching this,
Yeah.
where can they find your water? Where can they find Everybody Water?
There are a lot of great stores in Hingham Square. For example, Peel and the Bloomy Rind. We have it at
We're at the Hingham Juice Bar, the
the
Green
Juice
Light.
Bar, the Green
Green
Light.
Light,
We're
Yes.
at the Bar Method Studio. We're at Krigsman Yoga. We're at
The Cracker
Daily
Barrel.
Press. What?
The Cracker Barrel.
Oh, Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's building really quickly. You can also buy us online by the case.
EverybodyWater.com.
Everybodywater.com, and you can buy us by subscription too. And you can have it delivered to, especially where we live, to your boat, to your home,
Yes.
to work. Give it as a gift. And our tagline is "Water with a Heart." So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
little
A
love.
pleasure.
Oh my gosh!
Kimberly,
Thank you,
Megan,
Neil.
Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting both of you and hearing your story. You've really inspired me this morning. Well, thanks again for watching our show. I do believe that so many people reach the end of their lives and they look back and they think, what difference did I really make? I worked a lot of hours, but what difference did I make? So I ask you, what difference are you making in the community, in other people's lives, maybe even in the world? I believe that's one main reason we are here while we're here. Thank you so much. Do all you can to make a difference.